How does it feel to be a full-fledged MCU superhero? What does it mean to you?
Being a full-fledged MCU superhero is an absolute dream come true, and I don't say that lightly. I was, reading comic books from when I was a little kid. I was playing with action figures. I was watching all the movies, even the really obscure ones, even the ones that, if we're honest, I probably shouldn't have seen because I was too young. But I watched them all, and just became so obsessed with the idea of heroes, with the idea of like making your own destiny and carving out your own path and achieving greatness. And I just think that what's so special about this movie, of course, is that it's the representation of that, but for a community that isn't used to seeing that kind of authentic representation and that aspirational representation. And the wonderful thing is that we not only have one title Asian superhero in the MCU now, we have I'm looking at the poster now, and we have so many badass Asian and Asian American heroes and heroines that audiences will be able to look up to, and that each represent a small piece of that spectrum that makes up the Asian or Asian American experience. And it's truly such a rich and diverse movie, and I can't wait for people to see it.
How did you connect with Shang-Chi? Do you share any personality traits?
I think I share a few personality traits with Shang-Chi. Most importantly, our affinity for karaoke. I think I love karaoke as much as, if not more than, Sean. And, I will say definitely not in the fighting. I definitely am not one of the greatest hand-to-hand fighters in the history of the world, so can't really relate to him there. But I think in just the way that he is around his friends, too. I think Sean is intensely loyal. I think he just absolutely loves being in the presence of friends, and namely his best friend, Katie. And I think the two of them just are so down to have a good time, and I think I'm very much the same way. And then I'll also say, I think just in the way that Shang-Chi struggles with his relationship to his father, I think, growing up in an immigrant household, I can definitely relate to that, juggling and navigating the expectations of my parents and trying to connect to them, even across a cultural barrier and oftentimes a language barrier. It was really hard for us, and we got into a lot of arguments, and there was a lot of tension because we just fundamentally didn't understand each other. And I'm really, really happy with the journey that I took, and I hope that Sean can take a similar journey in the movie where he can, learn to accept all of the parts of him and including, the parts that are darker and maybe represent, his father's side.
What can audiences look forward to when they see the movie?
I think audiences can look forward to some of the most incredible action sequences in any Marvel movie or any movie period. I think they can look forward to really surprising moments of comedy and also really surprising moments of emotional depth and intimacy. And that's what you get with a wonderful director like Destin. He's so good at kind of crafting this intimate story, rich with human emotion and intricacy, but in the backdrop of this massive blockbuster movie. I think he does it so masterfully, and I think audiences are really going to be surprised at the emotional depth of the movie when they watch it.
If you could describe the movie in one word, what would it be and why?
Groundbreaking. Because not only because it literally, there is a moment where the ground breaks, but spoiler alert, but also, I mean, it's just such a watershed moment for so many reasons. It's the first, Hollywood movie appearance of a legendary actor in Tony Leung. It's the first, Asian-led movie in the MCU, and it's the first movie in the MCU with a predominantly Asian cast. It's groundbreaking in its action, in its characters, in its richness, and also in its representation. So it just truly a new and refreshing story, and I can't wait for people to see it.